Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. This is a B1 level grammar lesson. Today we're going to be introducing relative clauses that use who, that, and which. So when we begin to learn English, we learn very basic sentences. For example, the girl is wearing glasses. Do you know the girl? But we can create more advanced sentences using relative clauses. The girl appears in both sentences, so we can use a relative clause to make one sentence. Instead of repeating the girl, we can replace the girl with who. Do you know the girl who is wearing glasses? So who is wearing glasses is a relative clause. A relative clause or adjective clause can be used to join two sentences or to give more information about something. The girl is wearing glasses. Do you know the girl? Do you know the girl who is wearing glasses? Here, the relative clause provides information about the noun, the girl. We call it an adjective clause because just like an adjective, it gives information about a noun. So here's a little game you can play to understand relative clauses. So find the woman who is applying sunscreen in the picture. So over here. Find the boy who is building a snowman. Here. Find the man who is wearing 3 watches. Here in the swimming pool. Find the animal that is playing the guitar. Down here, the walrus. And find the man who is taking a nap. Right here. We use who to describe people and that to describe things. So let's combine these two sentences using a relative clause. The man is tired. He has been working all day. So first, you replace the pronoun he with the relative pronoun who because this is describing the person. The man is tired, who has been working all day. Now we must put the relative clause after the noun it describes, which is the man. The man who has been working all day is tired. Now, relative clauses are introduced by a relative pronoun, such as who, that, whose, or a relative adverb, such as when, where, or why. The clauses always contain a verb. A relative clause can be used to describe a subject or an object. Thomas ate the cake. So here, Thomas is the subject, the cake is the object. Thomas ate the cake that was on the table. So the relative clause, that was on the table, is describing the object of the sentence, which is the cake. Here the relative clause describes the subject of the sentence. Thomas ate the cake. Thomas, who was really hungry, ate the cake. So the relative clause, who was really hungry, is describing the subject of the sentence, Thomas. A relative clause always follows the noun it modifies. Students who ask questions learn a lot more. Which students learn more? Students who ask questions. She wore the dress that I bought for her. Which dress did she wear? The dress that I bought for her. So now we're going to look at learning some relative pronouns. Who is used to describe people? The man who is standing at the bus stop is my father. That and which are used to describe things. In general, that is preferred in North American English. The book that is on the table belongs to me. The book, which we talked about, is on sale this week. Sometimes we also use that to describe people, and this is more informal. The man that is standing at the bus stop is my father. So now see if you can combine the two sentences using a relative clause with who or that, and more than one answer may be possible. The example, I met a woman, she is a professor at the local university. I met a woman who is a professor at the local university. So go ahead and pause the video and try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check the answers. So we bought a house that is 100 years old. She joined a gym that is near her house. The taxi driver who drove me to the airport was really nice. The movie that we watched was about a murder. All right, so now see if you can describe the following jobs using a relative clause. Again, you can pause the video, try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. The example, an architect is a person who designs building. So a fashion designer is a person who designs clothing. An athlete is a person who plays a sport. A mechanic is a person who repairs uh, cars or other machines. A pilot is a person who flies planes or helicopters. And a civil engineer is a person who designs roads, bridges, etc. Now read each scenario and guess the answer, and use a relative clause in your answer. I'm a person who sells fruits and vegetables. I am a farmer or a grocer. I'm a person who sells meat products. I'm a butcher. I'm a person who takes care of sick animals. I'm a veterinarian. And I'm a person who grows food and raises animals on the farm. I am a farmer. So the first one will be a grocer, a farmer. Now think of a job and describe it using a relative clause. And you can do this in the comments. Write your sentence, and then the other members of the community can see if they can figure out which job that you're talking about, which job you're describing in your relative clause. All right, and then can you describe the following household items using a relative clause? Again, you can pause the video and try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. A refrigerator is a thing that keeps food cold. A vacuum cleaner is a thing that removes dirt from carpets. An oven is a thing that is used to bake food. A blender is a thing that mixes ingredients. Knives, forks, and spoons are things that we use to eat. And a coffee is a thing the machine is a thing that makes coffee. Now think of an animal and describe it using a relative clause. Again, you can do this in the comments, and other students can participate by guessing what animal you're describing. and read this description with a relative clause and then guess who it is. This person, who was born in 1958, has 6 brothers and sisters. He is famous for singing songs that are popular all over the world. He was a great dancer, famous for the moonwalk. This man, who is often called the King of Pop, passed away in 2009, and that would be Michael Jackson. This man, who was a strong advocate of peace, was a leader of India's independence movement. He believed that his belief that people should live simply was an inspiration for many people. This man, who inspired many Nobel Peace Prize winners, never received a Nobel Peace Prize. This would be Gandhi. This is something that gives people energy. This is something that many people have in the morning all throughout the world. It is something that you can have with or without milk and sugar. This would be coffee, or perhaps tea. Sometimes people have tea as well. This is something that went on sale in 1983, and at that time it cost almost $4,000. This is something that people say they couldn't live without, and over 3 billion people have. This is something that makes communicating much faster. This would be a personal computer. All right, so that brings us to the end of today's video. You can practice your relative clauses, make some sentences with relative clauses in the comments, see if or guess the items that other people are describing from their relative sentences with relative clauses. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to help the channel, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.